welcoming to the Rhema studio, Justin Smith. Kia ora.
Te Māori, Andrew. It's beautiful to be here kanohi ki te kanohi face-to-face today.
It is, and that's the topic that we're wanting to talk about, because honestly, there's so many different ways in which we communicate. And when I'm doing work to prep for this show, sometimes it'll be text message, sometimes it'll be email, some people contact me on Teams, it all comes through my phone, and there's so many different ways that I can communicate, but I'm not sure I'm actually communicating more than I used to, and it's possible, perhaps even likely, that I'm communicating less effectively because things get lost in translation on, so what did he mean by that emoji, and all sorts of stuff. I mean, you're the digital guy.
Yeah.
You're a digital native, you live in this space, but there's something different with face-to-face, right?
Oh, absolutely. And that's the crux of it is, face-to-face is the best. And I think we're really starting to learn this now after these many, many years that we've had the internet, the prevalence of digital communications, and now with social media and the various messaging platforms that are available to us, the quality of our communications these days is so poor. Yeah. The volume perhaps is through the roof, but the quality of communication is really poor. And this was exemplified by a scenario that I was sharing with you off air earlier that I had recently with in relation to a school, and we had a big hui about some various things and ways in which people felt about different things, and in the digital space, through an email chain, and there's a Facebook, as any parent knows, when it comes to school, there's WhatsApp groups, and there's all these different arenas with which to have communication, both one-on-one, collectively as a group, and for people to voice their opinions and perspectives and frustrations. And it got to the point where, hey, let's all get in a room. Yeah. Let's follow tikanga in this particular instance and have a hui, kanohi ki te kanohi, face to face, and just hear each other out in this space. And as it transpired, it was a very, very simple and really quite a minor thing, that it was that we had to get to the bottom of. And it was the fact that, people just needed to be heard and to be felt. And then actually the actions that had transpired were not quite so, important. And effectively all that it needed was an apology for one simple action. Okay.
I mean, it is very easy for things to go from 1 to 100 in the social media space. That somebody misinterprets something, somebody gets their nose out of joint because they weren't copied in on something.
Yes,
or
exactly.
Some keyboard warrior just expresses their feelings without pausing to think about how that might affect other people. We can be connected in many, many different ways, but there's so much more, I suppose, opportunity for offense and misinterpretation in digital communication than there is face-to-face, because you're looking at the person, you're valuing who they are as an individual. If you say something that annoys them, instant feedback, right? We're not talking emojis. They've got that look on their face. You go, oh gosh, maybe I should change my tone. Yeah. It is perhaps the best way of communicating, but hey, we're not saying, okay, let's throw our phones, let's go back to handwritten letters.
No, not at all, not at all. These digital communications are so empowering, but it's really important to know when, we need to switch those off and maybe obviously there's a bit of a spectrum with digital communications. An email, a text, the written form, of language is one thing. A level above that is being able to pick up the phone and having a call, because I can hear the tone in your voice and you can hear the tone in mine. And that expresses a lot of, I think, heart and intention, obviously beyond a form of text, written text. And then to perhaps have a video call, as you do with a lot of our esteemed guests that we have on the show, that we put on the Rhema YouTube channel. That's another level above just having a simple phone call, because I can see your face as you react poorly to my contributions to our conversations, but see you laugh in the presence of each other. We have warmth and brevity, and it's just, when it matters most, we really need to prioritize getting to these higher levels of communication, which I say higher levels, they're the fundamentals. Face to face.
Yeah, exactly. Getting back to basics in that regard. And sometimes I think that digital communication has almost become the new Babel, because if you, and I don't mean the translation app, by the way, either, I mean the story in the Bible, that people are on different platforms. What's the best way to get in touch with you? Oh, WhatsApp, definitely. Oh, no, text me. No, email's best, and make sure you copy in these 8 other people. each of us have got perhaps a unique fingerprint when it comes to our preferred digital style of communication, and not all of those styles overlap, but hopefully we're able to talk to each other face to face.
Yeah, and that's something that I've had to reconcile myself. Being in the digital space, of course, I have, digital solutions to solve all of these problems. Well, if we all just use this one thing, things would flow seamlessly. But the reality is, like you said, our digital fingerprint is much more like a Venn diagram that overlaps and looks like a series of mandala, effectively. It's just absolutely nuts.
So you need to, we've got to text everybody, but we've also got to copy in everybody in an email, and then there's the WhatsApp group, and hey, make sure you put in a Facebook post for that, and hey, if you send out a tweet, it just gets exhausting.
Yeah, that's going to no one. no one that's important.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly,
absolutely. Yeah. But it's important to establish the expectations, especially, when it comes to more formal communique, that, hey, we have all of these different ways of communicating. We have it here in this organization. We have Microsoft Teams to communicate in Teams. We use a different product to communicate organization-wide. We obviously use email. But at least we understand that there's an expectation that when it comes through this medium, that is important, and that is the official sort of, path for announcing, certain things that are important at an organization level. Just understanding that expectation for all of this different communication, very important.
And hey, as we push into the technology and the opportunities that it gives us, let us not neglect meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, to paraphrase the Bible. Kanohi, kito kanohi, such an important way of maintaining relationship and strength of communication. Justin, thanks for what you do in the digital space. Thanks for joining us.
Anytime.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.